The most interesting battles in the camera world don't always happen between rival brands. Sometimes they happen inside the same family. Right now, that tension is building between two unreleased giants, the Nikon Z8 II and the Nikon Z9 II. Neither camera officially exists yet. Both are fueled by leaks, insider whispers, prototype sightings, and educated speculation. And yet the debate is already intense. Will the Z8 II quietly become the real flagship for most professionals? Or will the Z9 II once again cement its dominance at the top of Nikon's mirrorless empire? This isn't just about megapixels or frame rates, it's about identity. It's about strategy. It's about how Nikon defines flagship in 2026. Let's discuss which one you should really buy. The physical difference between these two cameras will likely define their personalities long before we get into specifications. The Z9 II is expected to continue Nikon's fully integrated vertical grip design philosophy. Big, balanced, and purpose-built for heavy telephoto glass, it will likely feel at home on the sidelines of global sporting events or deep in rugged wildlife terrain. Weather-sealed like a tank and engineered for relentless use, it represents authority in physical form. The Nikon Z8 II, however, may quietly become the more desirable design for the modern hybrid shooter. The original Z8 already proved that a built-in grip is not necessary to deliver flagship-level performance. If Nikon refines the ergonomics further, perhaps deepening the grip, enhancing thumb support, and improving button tactility, the Z8 II could feel less like a smaller sibling and more like a precision instrument designed for versatility. The Z9 II may look like dominance, but the Z8 II may feel like mobility. Both cameras are expected to receive EVF upgrades, possibly higher brightness and refresh rates to reduce lag and enhance clarity. Thermal design refinements may also appear subtly within the chassis, but the real difference will be psychological. The Nikon Z9 II will look like a machine built for war. The Z8 II will look like a machine built for movement. For sports professionals who live behind monopods and 600mm lenses, the integrated grip makes perfect sense. For wedding filmmakers, travel shooters, and hybrid creators, constantly switching environments, the lighter frame may feel like the smarter choice. Design, in this case, becomes philosophy. Performance is where this internal battle could become uncomfortable for Nikon. The Z9 II is rumored to push sensor technology further with a newly developed stacked CMOS sensor, potentially entering the 50MP range. There is even speculation surrounding global shutter technology. If that becomes reality, it would eliminate rolling shutter entirely, allowing perfect motion capture and distortion-free electronic shutter shooting. That would be a genuine flagship statement. However, the Nikon Z8 II is unlikely to stand still. Rumors suggest a refined, stacked architecture in the 45-50MP zone with faster readout speeds and improved processing. If Nikon manages to minimize rolling shutter to near invisibility through sheer speed rather than global shutter, the real-world difference may become surprisingly small for most users. Burst rates for both cameras could hover around 30 frames per second in RAW, possibly higher in compressed formats. Autofocus will almost certainly evolve with next-generation processing power. Subject detection may become more predictive, recognizing motion intent rather than simply reacting to movement. Birds lifting from branches, athletes shifting momentum, or fast-paced candid moments may be captured with greater anticipation. The Z9 II may offer deeper buffers and slightly stronger sustained bursts, but the margin might not be dramatic enough to separate the two decisively. If the Nikon Z8 II delivers nearly identical speed in a smaller body, the flagship question becomes unavoidable. Video capabilities may be where the separation becomes clearer. Nikon's direction towards stronger cinema integration suggests both cameras will push into serious hybrid territory. The Z9 II is expected to extend internal RAW capabilities and potentially expand 8K frame rate options. Thermal redesigns could allow longer recording times without throttling, making it a serious tool for high-end production environments. The Nikon Z8 II, however, may become the sleeper hit for creators. A compact body delivering 8K 60p, advanced internal codecs, refined subject tracking autofocus, and improved cooling could be more appealing to independent filmmakers and content creators than a larger integrated body. If Nikon keeps high-bit depth recording options and robust color science intact in the Z8 II, it could represent one of the most balanced hybrid platforms on the market. Feature differentiation may ultimately rely on subtle exclusives. The Z9 II could reserve global shutter, slightly higher EVF specifications, or exclusive firmware advantages. The Z8 II might trade those extreme capabilities for portability and efficiency. Nikon's challenge is not technological capability but product separation. Restrict too much and the Z8 II feels artificially limited. Give too much and the Nikon Z9 II risks losing its flagship mystique. This is less about hardware limitations and more about strategic positioning. Neither camera has an official release timeline, but speculation suggests a staggered launch. Advanced sensor development and processor production are complex, and any global shutter implementation would require careful manufacturing scaling. Pricing rumors place the Z9 II in the upper flagship tier, potentially above $5,500, while the Z8 II could sit in the mid to high $4,000 range. That price gap will matter enormously. If the Z9 II climbs too high, it may become a specialized sports and wildlife machine rather than a broad professional tool. If the Z8 II approaches similar performance for significantly less money, many professionals may gravitate toward it instead. Timing also influences perception. Major sporting events often act as real-world testing grounds, but historical patterns do not guarantee synchronized announcements. Delays in advanced components could shift schedules further into late 2026, allowing the Nikon Z8 II to capture early attention depending on release order. Pricing strategy will define perception as much as performance. The more aggressive Nikon becomes with the Z9 II, the more carefully they must calibrate the Z8 II's positioning to avoid internal competition that feels unnecessary. The Nikon Z8 II versus Nikon Z9 II discussion is not simply about specifications. It is about defining what flagship truly means in a mirrorless era where size no longer dictates capability. The Z9 II symbolizes ambition in its most visible form. It represents maximum engineering effort and a bold technological statement. The Z8 II symbolizes efficiency and adaptability. It represents intelligent refinement and real-world usability. If the Nikon Z9 II introduces global shutter and extreme performance margins, it will clearly reclaim undisputed flagship status. But if the Z8 II delivers near-identical results in most professional scenarios while remaining lighter and more affordable, it may quietly become the camera most professionals actually choose. In the end, the question lingers in a more compact form. Is the flagship defined by size, by speed, by price, by innovation? Or is it defined by what working professionals truly rely on every day? That is the real battle unfolding between these two upcoming giants. And when they finally launch, the debate will not simply be about specs on paper. It'll be about which philosophy wins. So, which camera are you rooting for most? Nikon Z8 II or Nikon Z9 II? Share with us in the comments, subscribe for more content, like this, and as always, thanks for watching.